Shut up already. This is science.
Dentists say that drinking it can protect your teeth against cavities. Cities and towns all across the world actually dump it into the water supply, hoping to indiscriminately medicate the population through their tap water faucets. The official story on fluoride sounds wonderful. Drink the stuff and you won't get cavities, we're told. It's a nice story. But there's another side to this story, the side you're never told. And it starts with the astonishing but verifiable fact that nearly all the fluoride dripped into municipal water supplies isn't naturally occurring fluoride at all. In fact, it's actually a combination of hexafluorosilicic acid and sodium silicofluoride. These two chemicals are considered highly toxic by the EPA. They're actually classified as hazardous waste, and when packaged for transportation, they must be labeled as poison and handled by workers wearing industrial safety gear. So, what are hexafluorosilicic acid and sodium silicofluoride, and where do they come from? That's the part of this story that you probably won't believe. That is, not until you check it out for yourself. Because the more you look into the mythology of fluoride, the more bizarre this story becomes. And this bizarre story begins at phosphate mining companies. Phosphate is an important mineral used in fertilizers. It's mined from natural rock deposits scattered across the world, and the phosphate rock is then refined to produce phosphoric acid. If that name sounds familiar, that's because it's one of the main ingredients in carbonated sodas, such as Coke and Pepsi. Phosphoric acid is often compared to battery acid. It's a highly acidic liquid that is believed to be the primary reason why drinking sodas can result in kidney stones and a loss of bone mineral density. Phosphate rock is also used to create fertilizers. The problem is phosphate is often contaminated with high levels of fluoride, as much as 40,000 parts per million or up to 4% of the raw ore. To remove the fluoride, sulfuric acid is added to a wet slurry of phosphate and water. This causes the fluoride to vaporize, creating highly toxic gaseous compounds such as hydrogen fluoride and silicon tetrafluoride. These toxic fluoride chemicals used to be released directly from the smokestacks of phosphate mining operations.
Debate for quite some time. While most people know that it exists, the consensus is that if it were extremely harmful, something would have been done about it. Well, that may not be the case. So we're here to give you a little more information about this hidden problem, along with some ways that you can fight back before it's too late. Fluoridation of our water began in the 1940s, with people expecting a lot of positive impact, while also realizing that about 10% of children were expected to develop dental fluorosis, which causes damage to the enamel involving discoloration and spotting. As of 2010, 41% of children were suffering, with over 10% being classified as severe, which means that they needed expensive treatment. It can also interfere with important biological processes as our children grow up. Perhaps worse, the chemicals used to fluoridate water supplies are largely hazardous byproducts of the fertilizer industry. These same ingredients are not allowed to be disposed of in the ocean, have never been required to undergo clinical trials for safety or effectiveness, and even the FDA classifies fluoride as an unapproved drug. Add this to the mounting evidence that it can cause damage to soft tissues, teeth, and bones, and you would think someone would want to test it out. No? Anyone? So now that you've learned